Hey everyone, David Young here, founder of Drone Launch, back with you today for another slightly informal video. Me showing my screen, walking you through our advanced drone mapping and modeling certificate program. Yesterday, I kind of pulled the curtain back and showed you behind the scenes of the Geodesy for drone mapping course and GNSS positioning and survey control course. Today, I want to walk you through what is inside of the other three courses. These are the sort of the industry use case focused courses. First one is advanced drone mapping for construction and engineering, land surveying, and then 3D modeling and digital twins. I'm going to show you what is inside of each one here so you can get an idea for if you would want to do it, if it makes sense for you, what's in here. Because sometimes if we just talk about it, hey, here's what you're going to learn and here's what you can do and blah, 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 you're like, that's cool, but you want to see inside. What's it look like inside? What are the lessons like? What am I going to actually learn? Some of these lessons, I think if you're getting our emails, you can preview and take some lessons, but I want to walk you through it. So yesterday we talked about Geodesy and GNSS positioning and survey control, why that is the foundation of everything that you are going to be doing with your drone mapping, modeling, GIS work. If you don't have that fundamental understanding, everything else that comes later is going to sort of not matter, because you're not going to have the foundational core skills to be able to accurately position whatever it is you create in a location on the earth that other people can overlay things on in software and do calculations off of and all the stuff that needs to happen. So once you have that foundational knowledge there that we talked about, if you haven't seen that, go find the video from yesterday. But once you understand all that stuff, then you can get into how do I actually use this if I'm working with civil engineers or people on a construction site. How do I use this data if I'm going to work with land surveyors, getting them products, or maybe I'm a part of maybe I'm a survey tech and I'm working with a survey company, or maybe you're a drone service provider. And then if you're doing more like inspection work, or you're creating 3D models for BIM stuff, whatever, this shows you how to do it. So let's dive in. First one, advanced drone mapping for construction and engineering. This is taught by Nate Howard. He's a survey manager for Kiewit, one of the largest construction engineering firms in all the world, especially North America. He is one of their drone subject matter experts. I think he's the survey manager now for like half of North America, something like that. He's high up there, super nice guy. They use drones on, I think, almost every project. They have hundreds and hundreds of projects where they're flying drones on a weekly basis. Their company owns probably hundreds of drones at this point, and he is one that helps manage that program for them and helps them integrate that on their projects. So he just shows you, hey, real life, here's what we do with them. So we'll start off with Nate. So talk about how it's even used in construction and engineering, kind of giving you the initial overview of like when you're doing drone mapping for construction and engineering, what are the use cases, team structures and roles. This is a good selling point if you are trying to convince your boss to use drone mapping. He talks about how they think about it in terms of if they have inaccurate data, how much that costs them on missed estimates, bad jobs, things like that. So we walk through some numbers, use cases, some numbers and examples that they have run into with their company. Coordinate systems used in construction. So this is specific to construction, state plane coordinate system, EPSG codes, all of the practical, tangible stuff that when you get on the job site, you're going to need to understand how to find these codes. Each project is going to be a different location that is going to have a different state plane coordinate system potentially, or a different derivation of it, or epic, and how to find that code, how to make sure you're using the right thing in your software. Northings and eastings is unique to like state plane stuff. So Nate draws out how they think through their specific coordinate systems, whether it's localized coordinates. He talks about here local calibrated coordinate systems. So when you're on the job site, how do these coordinate systems work? So this is why you need that foundational knowledge from before. And then here's how it's applied into your project. So it's a lot of teaching on the how and the why. So as a part of this course, we actually take you through a real world project. This is called the Avalon development. It was something that Nate was actually working on. He talks about the example project here, what exactly we're going to be trying to do. So they're listed out here. Let me get them on screen for you. All right. So we're going to look at as built. So what's actually being built versus what was in the engineering plan set. We look at the takeoff calculations and quantities. So that's the cut fill maps. Where do we need to move dirt around? How much dirt? We look at contours for water flow to see if that lines up with our plans. Then we check some safety slopes for OSHA compliance. So we're like, hey, we're going to do this project, and here's why we are gathering this data and putting these maps and models together, so we have something to check in the end. So we take you literally step by step through the whole thing. So start off by checking the plan with all of our ground control points and checkpoints, doing our flight automation. So we had a KML file for the flight area, bringing that in. We use a Wingtra to fly this mission. walk through all the setups for that. Throughout all these courses, we try to expose you to a lot of different types of drones, a lot of different types of software, different types of receivers. So in this course specifically, we use Wingtra for flying, Propeller for processing, and Trimble for the GNSS receivers. But in the previous course, in the GNSS and survey control course, Chris used a DJI Matrice 300 and DJI Terra to process. In a future course, you're going to see that I think it was flown with maybe a Mavic 3 Enterprise, and we'd use Pix4D Survey, Pix4D Mapper. And then in the last course, you're going to see we use Metashape, and we use a Matrice 400 with a P1 camera, and we use MLID receivers. So there's all sorts of different exposure to different systems and receivers, and you're going to see that they're all doing essentially the same thing. Maybe the buttons are in different places, but the concepts are the same. So just wanted to throw that out there. But for right now, we're doing Wingtra. We'd look at our GCP and check shot placement plan. He talks through how he thinks that out. And then we look at what kind of gear and correction methods we're going to use. So I think for this reason, our PPK correction, since we're using propeller arrow points. Then we take you out to the field. We actually go out to the job site. We look at our GCP and check shot plan. We set up the targets. We go and we shoot our benchmark. This is what it looks like for your Trimble receiver. So again, you're going to see what we're seeing on screen the whole time. We just walk around with us, showing exactly how we're doing it, where we're going. You see the whole thing start to finish. We speed it up a little bit so you're not sitting there just watching them walk. Shooting our benchmark to make sure our receiver is accurate and we can rely on it with our RTK data. It's in tolerance. Then we go out and check more of our stuff and shoot some of our GCP. So we walk you through the whole thing, right? And Nate talks through everything as he goes. Then we actually fly that Wingtra mission, show what that looks like. Then we bring all that data back into the office and we do our geotagging of the images with Wingtra. Sometimes it happens, the geotagging happens after. So we talk about that and then we actually do it. We talk about our different processing scenarios that we're going to do. So we're going to use some of them with RTK, with control points, without, and we're going to see how that affects our accuracies. We talk through those and then we actually review our quality and our accuracy reports, similar to what we did in the previous course, but you're seeing applied in a different setting here. We talk about using design files and different types of third-party data. So when you lay this stuff on top, talks about shape files, what that looks like, bringing it in, looking at the line work, and then showing some common problems like, hey, seems off, like the elevation is off because as we're zooming in and out, it looks wrong. So he'll show you how to troubleshoot some of that, how to lock it to the right point. So he's just going to go through the project, and as he hits snags, it's like, oh, here's what happens when you're out on the job site. Here's how to fix it. Here's what we do. Importing design data, what to do when stuff doesn't line up. We go through an example where someone used some wrong conversion factor and the project ended up on the wrong side of the road. We're over here, it ended up over there. How to fix that, what's going on. And then we actually get into our reports. So actually how we do all of our calculations for our takeoff calculations, moving dirt around, our stockpile stuff, generating contours. Then we put all that together into a final report, pretending that we're delivering that to somebody, what all those measurements look like, what that report would be, so we can show what that might look like. Then we look at our water runoff, comparing those contours to our engineering plan set, and then our safety slope calculations, make sure within tolerance there. Then you take your final exam. If you pass with an 80%, you get your advanced drone map, or your advanced drone mapping and construction. Oh my gosh, advanced drone mapping for construction and engineering. That's the third one out of 5. Okay, so that's the engineering course. Apply your knowledge to a specific area. Now jump with me over to the land survey course. This one is taught by Mr. Root Patel. I'm trying to move my face here. Root Patel, he works with a survey firm right now. He's been working with them for the past several years, and he is their aerial data guy. He's actually a partner of one of their subsidiaries where they provide the service for other surveyors. So he's used to working and doing all the aerial data collection and processing and deliverables for survey firms. So for this one, we go through 2 projects. He talks about himself and all that. But we go through 2 projects. We're going to do a golf course. They needed a topographic map for a golf course in Florida. So they walk through that start to finish. We talk about the data collection, the GCPs that they do. So for this one, you'll see they had their field crew go out and collect that GCP data. So he's like, hey, I got this file with these northings, eastings, and elevations. Here's what I'm doing with it for this project. You'll already have known how to do this from the GNSS course, and you'll see Nate do it in the previous course. But now in this instance, Root is not the one collecting that data, but he's using it. So another example of how that's used. And then we go through all the processing. So we process all this in Pix4D Mapper, giving you exposure to new types of software. So we split this up into these different processing stages. He does all that. cleaning it up. Then we bring it into Pix4D Survey. We walk through everything he's doing through Pix4D Survey, so where we can ultimately, what we want is a grid that he can get. It's like a tin file surface that he can get to these surveyors. So we're walking through that whole process here, exporting the surface, and then we do a summary of what we did, what the deliverables were. Then we move to the next project, which is a car dealership, planometrics for a car dealership. So we do an overview of that. Again, go through the same thing. What's our project plan, our GCP layouts, how we're going to be handling that, how he thinks about it. Here's the area we're doing. Here's the files I was given. So we do the flight planning. So he used a DJI drone. I think he was using a Mavic 3 Enterprise or maybe an M4E. Data collection. Then we go through Pix4D Mapper again, but this time he's using it, or he does it in Pix4D Survey, but then he also shows it doing the planometrics in Virtual Surveyor. So you get exposure to a lot of different types of projects and software, and then he wraps it up here. And then you take your final exam, and again, you would get your advanced, see if I can find the certificate here. I'm walking through how to do it. So your advanced drone mapping certificate for land survey. To the final course, so you've got construction and engineering, you've got land survey. Now we're looking at things that are maybe more inspection related, so not necessarily mapping on a wide scale, but 3D modeling, digital reconstruction of structures. Some call it digital twins. That's what this course is. So this is taught by Ted Strazimiri. He is, again, one of the best people I've ever found in the world of drones. He's consulted with every major drone manufacturer on their sensors, on their equipment. He's presented at reality capture conferences overseas. He's used to be a professor for this stuff. So, and he does tons of bridge inspections. So he talks through how we're using this for 3D modeling. So we go through the different industry use cases, how 3D modeling differs from traditional mapping. He walks through projects that he's done. I think he did a historical documentation of, so actually these are bridges. Yes, here's some bridges he's done. Talk about the actual cameras and sensors you would need. So sometimes you might want to use handheld sensors. You can use drones. Also talks about lasers you can use, other types of gear. And then we look at, all right, let's do some planning for bridge projects, because our ultimate goal in this course is to do a bridge scan, a 3D model of a bridge. So he talks about his flight planning, how he thinks through working with bridges. And then we also do planning for if you're going to do a building. So building envelope is getting all sides of the building plus the roof to do an inspection with that. Talked about different reality capture fundamentals, setting up your GNSS receiver. Again, this is working with MLID now, verifying accuracy with your stakeout. And the first thing we do is we're going to do a church parking lot with a church building to capture that ground in a 3D model of that building. So we work through that with a Skydio X10. And I think he also does it with a Matrice 4. So you see everything we're doing that. So we do our Matrice 4 at 400 feet, 200 feet. We do a Skydio at 200 feet. And then we do all of our processing. So he's doing this in Metashape. So we go through everything in Metashape with photogrammetry, point clouds, building the 3D model, doing mesh quality and confidence, doing 3D textured mesh stuff, getting into a lot of 3D, how to share your 3D models with Nira, all your control points, importing those, making sure your 3D models are grounded with absolute accuracy, aligning stuff. There's a lot of camera calibration that's going on. So this gets pretty deep. All right. And then we move into bridges. So we go to a bridge in the Toronto area and we actually do a bridge inspection. So we're setting up all of our ground control. We're using an M400. He's using RTK, talking about how he's doing his slope missions to get the sides of the bridge. Then he does some manual flight stuff. Then we use an X10 to capture the underside of the bridge because the X10 can look straight up. And then we do the processing of all of it. So we do some quality control. We do alignment stuff. This is all the bridge. I mean, it's really in depth. All the GCPs, bringing it in, something called gradual selection, making sure you're putting, this is called a bounding box to make sure you're grabbing the area that you want in your 3D model, combining the data sets from the Matrice and the Skydio, chunking it all together, doing a whole bunch of great stuff, and then finally get your exported 3D model in camera data. And then talks a little bonus lesson on how you can use the manifold for DJI to replicate some of the stuff that Skydio does. Anyways, you take your final exam for the 3D modeling course, and then you will get your certificate. You got your course textbook as well. This one's pretty long, 200 pages of reference material for you to use as you go throughout the course that you can refer back to whenever you want. So once you get that final 5th certificate, you will get your advanced drone mapping and modeling program certificate. It'll have all 5 badges on it with a gold one, and you can put this on your LinkedIn. This means you've gone through everything from geodesy, GNSS and survey control, construction and engineering, land survey, and 3D modeling. You will be a weapon when it comes to using drones for advanced mapping, advanced modeling, understanding geospatial techniques, ground control, accuracy, all of it. So that's a full walkthrough of all 5 courses from the last video and this video. Hope that helps you kind of see what's inside, see what you're getting yourself into, and see what you might learn. Take care.